Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the blueprint of an absolute legend. We are talking about the success secrets of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is, without a doubt, one of the most accomplished people on the entire planet. I mean, just think about this for a second. He sculpted his body to become the undisputed king of bodybuilding. Then he becomes one of the highest paid action heroes in Hollywood history. And then he governs California, which has the fifth largest economy in the world. These wins are in completely different universes. So you gotta ask, how on earth did he do it? Well, it wasn't just luck. Nope. It was a very specific, carefully crafted blueprint. In a famous speech that has over 100 million views, Arnold actually shared his personal rules for success. And today, we're gonna deconstruct that masterpiece. Okay, let's dive right in. Here they are, the 6 powerful rules that make up his blueprint. We're going to walk through them one by one, and you'll see how they all connect and build on each other. First up, rule number 1, find your vision. And for Arnold, this is everything. It's the foundation. Because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a destination, you're basically just drifting through life. So picture this. You've got a young Arnold growing up in post-war Austria, and he just feels like he doesn't fit in. His parents have a simple, traditional life plan for him, but he knows deep down he wants something bigger. And then, when he's just 11 years old, he sees a school documentary about America, the giant skyscrapers, the massive bridges, the huge highways, and it just lights this fire inside him. He knew with absolute certainty that's where he had to be. But the how didn't really click into place until he saw a magazine with this bodybuilder, Reg Park, on the cover. The article laid out Park's whole journey, training for hours, winning Mr. Universe, and then using that fame to get into movies. And for Arnold, it was like a light bulb went off. He thought, that's it. That's the blueprint for my life. All of a sudden, the path was totally clear, and with that clarity came this feeling of calm excitement. He finally knew his destination. Now, compare Arnold's laser focus with this pretty sobering fact. A recent survey found that a staggering 74% of Americans are actually unhappy with their jobs. 74%. So why is that number so high? Well, a lot of people are just drifting, They're taking whatever job comes along to pay the bills, but they don't have that driving passion or a clear goal. But when you have a vision like Arnold did, work isn't a chore anymore. It becomes a mission. Every single workout, every set, every rep is just another exciting step closer to your dream. All right, so that leads perfectly into rule number 2, silence the naysayers. Because as soon as you set a big, ambitious vision for yourself, you can bet there's going to be a whole line of people ready to tell you it's impossible. And Arnold really lived by this powerful idea from Nelson Mandela. When someone told him, no, that's impossible, he heard, yes, it's possible. When they said it's never been done before, he just thought, perfect, I'll be the first one to do it. And trust me, he was hit with a constant wall of negativity. His own parents told him his bodybuilding dreams were crazy. Hollywood agents and executives told him he'd never make it as an actor. Your body is too weird, your accent is a problem, and that name, no one could even pronounce it. And then in politics, they told him to aim lower. But here's the crucial part. He just tuned them all out. His belief in his vision was so strong that none of it mattered. He literally took all their negativity and turned it from a roadblock into rocket fuel. And in the end, he proved every single one of them wrong. Which brings us to rule number 3, work your butt off. One of Arnold's biggest pet peeves is when people say, I don't have time. He just sees it as the ultimate excuse. He loves telling this story about Muhammad Ali. Someone asked Ali how many sit-ups he does, and he gave this legendary answer. And that, right there, is the whole point of hard work. It doesn't really count until it starts to hurt. That's the zone where real growth actually happens. Just think about your day for a second. We all get the same 24 hours. Let's say you sleep for 8 hours, and you work or go to school for 8 hours, you're still left with 8 whole hours. And even if you account for eating and commuting, there's still a big chunk of time there. So the real question is, what are you doing with it? And look, if you think he's just talking, this is what he actually did. When he first came to America, he was working a construction job, training for 5 hours a day, going to college classes, and taking acting lessons 4 nights a week. The guy used every single minute. The lesson is crystal clear. There are no shortcuts. There is only hard work. Okay, now for a kind of controversial one. Rule number 4, have no plan B. Arnold absolutely hates backup plans. He thinks they come from a place of self-doubt. The moment you start thinking about a safety net, you're already giving yourself permission to fail. And it makes sense when you think about it. With only a plan A, you are all in. 100% of your energy is focused on that one goal. That pressure is actually a good thing. But a plan B? It splits your energy and gives you this false sense of safety that makes it way too easy to quit when things get tough. Like Arnold says, I've never ever had a plan B. And that flows right into rule number 5, don't be afraid to fail. I mean, the whole reason people want a plan B is because they're terrified of failing. But Arnold's point is, if you let that fear paralyze you, you will never ever give it your all. It's just like that iconic quote from Michael Jordan, maybe the greatest basketball player of all time, talking about all the shots he's missed and games he's lost. Success isn't about avoiding failure. Success is built on top of a giant mountain of failures. You have to be willing to fail if you truly want to succeed. So here's the mindset shift that's so important. Falling down doesn't make you a loser. Everybody falls down. Arnold lost bodybuilding competitions. He starred in movies that bombed. He lost political elections. You only truly lose when you fall down and you refuse to get back up. Winners fall and they get up. They fall again and they get up again. They just keep getting back up. And that brings us to his final rule. Rule number 6, give something back. Because once you've climbed that mountain and you've achieved your goals, it's time to look beyond yourself. It's about, as he says, tearing down that mirror so you stop just looking at yourself and you start helping other people. That, right there, is the key to real fulfillment. So let's do a quick recap of Arnold's entire blueprint for success. 1, have a clear vision. 2, ignore all the naysayers. 3, work your butt off. 4, get rid of plan B. 5, don't be afraid to fail. And finally, 6, give something back. In the end, Arnold's message is actually pretty simple. There's no magic pill. There's no secret shortcut to success. There's just a blueprint and a relentless commitment to do the work. So the only question left is, what are you going to start building today?